Okay. I think we have everyone here. So I'm going to go ahead and call to order this meeting of the Fayetteville Public Schools Board of Education for this snowy January night. And we have Mr. Gus Hurley here to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Gus. We appreciate it. Okay, and Alan, will you call the roll?
Nika Weitzman,
Here.
Megan Tulloch,
Here.
Tim Hudson,
Here.
Justin Eichmann,
Here.
Katrina Osborne,
Here.
Tracy Pomeroy,
Here.
Keaton Smith.
Here.
Okay, we are going to take our recognitions and move them to our February agenda. So we will not be having any special recognitions or regular recognitions this evening. We are going to reserve those for February, but we do have two individuals who have signed up for citizen participation. I believe they've been given a Zoom link, and our first guest is Miss Isla Campbell. Are you there, Isla? See her on here.
Are you ready for me?
Isla, yes, we are ready for you. And just as a reminder, there's a 5-minute time limit. I'm not exactly sure how we are going to do that, but I will, I guess, just watch your monitor there in the corner unless, Jennifer, are you on here? Do you have a way to run a clock?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Is there a way for you to show a clock on the screen, or?
Yes. Do you guys see the meeting control panel?
The meeting control. No.
I'm sharing my screen, but I wasn't sure if people could see it.
Oh,
What do you see?
We just see the agenda.
Yeah, that's right. Is it
Okay.
a black screen that says meeting control panel on the top?
No, it's just a picture of our board docs agenda.
Nika, did you call for me? This is Isla. Can you hear
I'm
me?
sorry, Isla. Yes, I can hear you. I did.
Okay.
We're just trying to figure out how to run the timer for you.
Oh, okay, fine.
Sorry, we didn't figure this out in advance. So we're,
Hey, that's okay. I'm the last one to criticize.
well, I think,
Nika,
was that Jennifer?
what's the timer? The number of minutes?
5 minutes.
Okay. 5 minutes and tell me if you can see it.
There
There you go.
it is.
There we go.
Okay. Okay. And
Need to start it.
yeah. Oh, it's already
Yeah.
started. Go ahead, Miss Isla.
Okay, thank you. Good evening.
I'll stop it and I'll restart it.
Okay.
I'm not going to need the whole 5 minutes, but fine.
Before you start, Isla, you're familiar with all the guidelines, so I probably don't need to go through all that, but just want to remind you about refraining from any personal attacks and whatnot. So
Correct. Sure.
but go ahead.
Okay, good evening. And in light of Governor Sanders' recent executive orders prohibiting the teaching of critical race theory, I'm asking the board to re-examine their assessment that CRT is not present in our district. Recently, the president of the Arkansas Education Association stated that the executive order to prohibit indoctrination and CRT in our schools is futile, as they are not part of the state standards for K through 12 instruction. And I agree with this statement. However, using the state standards to deny the presence of CRT in our schools is disingenuous, as is the claim that CRT is a college level course that isn't taught in any public K through 12 school. The following are examples of CRT and gender identity values, policies, and programs revealed through FOIA documentation from our district. Converge, one of the main influencers developing the Fayetteville Public School Equity DEI plan, clearly reflects the belief that America is a white supremacist nation whose institutions must be reimagined and dismantled. The DEI plan of our district also includes a gender identity component as evidenced by the gender support plan. This plan includes questions asking students their assigned gender identity, their preferred pronouns, and some questions that could be construed as circumventing parental knowledge and consent. This leads me to the following emails, which have been redacted. High school email, 2021 high school counselor to teachers. Parents do not support students' transition. If you speak to any of students' guardians, student needs to be referred to as student's given name. We do not want to create any more problems for student at home. However, at school, student prefers to be called blank. We will do our best to communicate the correct name at school. Owl Creek, fifth grader, blank, and prefers pronouns blank. Says mom is aware, but not yet supported. Please use the birth name when communicating with parents at this time. Another email, subject transgender student and bathrooms. Mike called me back and said a student can use the bathroom of their choice. A private bathroom can be offered, but if the student wants to use the bathroom of their choice, they can do so. There are also emails showing parental concerns over boys and girls bathrooms, administrators confused over policies governing gender identity issues, and emails showing the presence of outside activists promoting programs and policies outside the purview of public schools. All the above relate to serious and complicated issues facing our schools. However, parental rights can never be circumvented except in case of child endangerment. The rights of all children must be protected, and the focus of our public schools must be returned to emphasizing academic excellence and achieving the highest potential for each and every student. Thank you.
Thank you, Isla. And our next guest is Miss Gloria Morton. Can you reset the
It's my
clock?
time. Yeah.
Where's Jennifer? Hold on just a second, Gloria, and we'll get that started. Sorry, I need to mute my dog, clearly. Jennifer, are you there? Hold on just a second, Gloria, I apologize. Okay. Jennifer, are you able to start the clock? I think we may have lost Jennifer, but what?
I'm roughly, I'll be under 5 minutes.
Okay, and since you're the only other person, it's not worth complicating this. So why don't you just go ahead and start and just try to keep your comments under 5 minutes, if you would. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. Well, good evening. My name is Gloria Morton, resident of Fayetteville. Utilizing the Fall at Destiny online catalog, several top challenge books are located right here in this district. Books challenged for profanity, sexually explicit content, including violence and masturbation, drug use, and even anti-police themes. Board members, you delegate the responsibility for the evaluation of library materials to the media specialist and are responsible for all matters related to Fayetteville Public Schools. Under the guise of intellectual freedom, here is a sample of what is available for checkout in addition to the audiobooks and ebooks available for download. In the book, The Female of the Species, profanities, dick is mentioned 19 times, fuck is mentioned 74 times, shit 109 times, among other profanities. In the book, What Girls Are Made Of, an excerpt reads, if Seth wants to have sex and I'm on my period, I'm the one to suggest to give him head. Another excerpt says, I flicked the vibrator switch back on. I gripped the black handle tightly and I pressed the nose of it against the center of me. The next orgasm hits almost at once. In the book Red Hood, same author, at last, he's found his way there, a hand on each of your thighs, his head buried between them, and his tongue and his lips press into you as his fingers pull you apart. In the book titled, This Book is Gay, which was challenged, but was deemed appropriate by the review committee, still sits on the shelf today, with detailed instructions for hand jobs, blow jobs, sex apps, anal sex, saunas, and sex parties, as well as diagrams of where to touch and stimulate males and females. Page 179 explains how women can pleasure each other with fingers, orally, and with toys and strap-ons. How can this be? Regardless of the sexual orientation, will the community school be a gateway to pornography? Take your pick of the several research articles that shows porn makes a bigger footprint on neural pathways than any other behavioral addiction. Porn is aggressive, perverse, and effectually consumes daily thought life, which stifles creativity and intellectual pursuit of true academics. The solution suggested by the high school librarians is that parents can flag their child's account. Well, okay, but that's not enough. Parents have a right to know the content available to their child in their school libraries, and a great start is sending parents and guardians a district newsletter of newly purchased books. Because of the irresponsible discretion, there is a movement of parents waking up and stepping up, and there will be action to steer this in the right direction. This is not book banning, but rather age-appropriate materials. Children and teenagers are impressionable and still developing. The vetting of books and transparency of newly purchased books with taxpayer dollars needs immediate attention, and as the Board of Fayetteville Public Schools, you are responsible. Thank you.
Thank you, Gloria. Okay, we are moving on to our consent agenda. I'm sorry, we have a couple of, we have one board liaison report. Katrina has prepared a report for a legislative update for us. Are you there, Katrina?
Thanks, Nika. Well, we're now a couple weeks into the 94th General Assembly. At this time, there's been, well, I say at this time, when the ASBA put out their update, there had been 18 bills filed dealing with K-12 education that they're tracking. Of those bills, 14 of them are House bills and 4 are Senate bills. Also remember that any bills filed that deal with K-12 education must have a fiscal impact study, which takes a couple of days before it moves forward. I think Jennifer has attached the list of those bills to board docs. Is that correct? So you can see them.
Yep.
I'm going to highlight just a couple of them for you, and then feel free to read the rest on your own. Ask me if there's any questions or anything I can do to update you. And also always feel free to reach out to your legislators. Okay, first one, House Bill 1122. Following an amendment, this bill restores the school start date to the week of August 19th and repeals the prohibition of districts requesting an Act 1240 waiver of the school start date. The amendment removed the language repealing the use of hours instead of days for student contact days when establishing the district calendar from the bill. This bill has gone out of the House Education Committee and should be presented on the House floor anytime. I'll keep you updated. I think a lot of our families and staff would consider this a positive change. I think PPC will be happy about it, and it would allow us the flexibility to end the school year before June, which is, I believe, how we had it maybe 3 years ago or so. Okay, the next one is House Bill 1156. This bill provides for the following. First, the bill would require students attending a school-sponsored overnight trip shall be assigned to a room based on the student's birth-assigned gender. Second, the bill would require all multi-use bathrooms, locker rooms, and the like to be designated as either male or female only, and for students who do not wish to comply to be provided the use of the single occupancy room. And third, the bill would require all districts to adopt a discipline policy for students who are found to have used a multi-use room that does not coincide with the student's birth-assigned gender outside of listed emergency exceptions. As you can imagine, I think there's some questions about Title IX violations here, and there's likely to be a ton of litigation involved with this one. The last one I'm going to highlight is Senate Bill 62. The bill would prohibit public entities, including public school districts, from contracting with entities that are boycotting fossil fuels, firearms, or ammunition companies. And that could be problematic in that there's companies, even Walmart, that don't sell certain firearms. So there would have to be a lot of direction involved in that, and it could be tricky with figuring out if certain businesses, if we're able to contract with them. So I think, as we all know, this is going to be a wild ride, and I'll continue to provide updates, and I'm sure I'll have one again next month.
Okay, thank you so much, Katrina. That's really helpful. And I think even as you get those updates, just linking them in board docs is really helpful for all of us to have that.
Yeah, I'd be happy to continue providing those, and I can send them on to Jennifer as they come to me. Okay. I think there's going to be, I encourage everyone in the public also to reach out to your legislators if there's something you feel particularly passionate about.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Dr. Colbert.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, Mrs. Waitman, and to the board and to the public. Just a few things. One, first, I'd just like to say thank you very much to the teachers, students, and parents for the patience as we work through the AMI day and the snow day. As you know, that as we make those decisions, we have to take under consideration several things, and internet accessibility, electricity, power out, rural areas where the roads are not passable, and then also take into consideration about bus drivers, they couldn't get out and all, and also teachers without internet. So all of those decisions was used, all of those factors were used to make a decision about whether we would do an AMI day and a snow day. And we had to transition to the snow day today because of the fact that we had not only students were not able to access the internet, but also we had the power outage in several homes, and then we had several schools without power. So therefore we felt that we needed to go ahead and just do a snow day. And so we're working on that. And so hopefully we'll be able to make the announcement, hopefully doing this before we get off this Zoom, about whether we're going to do in person tomorrow or not. I had good news about the 3 schools that without power. So hopefully we'll be able to get the word that they will be ready, up and ready to run for tomorrow. So Mrs. Waitman, I will try to make that announcement before we leave tonight, okay? And then the other thing is that as we just finished going over the goals and all, and goal 2.3 dealing with career pathways, we're getting ready to utilize that coming up now. So I like to remind parents that they should receive a flyer, especially current 8th grade students, 9th, 10th, and 11th grade students, about the FHS CAP dates. And we'd like for them to make sure they come out, because as you know, CAP itself is the career action plan, that they have the opportunity to talk with their counselors and with their teachers about their career action plan. So we have an informational day that's coming up for current 9th, 10th, and 11th grade students on Monday, February the 6th, from 6 to 7:30 p.m. in the FHS cafeteria. So we encourage all of those current 9th, 10th, and 11th grade students, please come out and take advantage of this great opportunity so they can continue to map out their career plans. And then for our upcoming, now current 8th graders, their day would be Tuesday and Wednesday, the 7th and 8th of February, from 6 to 7:30 in the high school. So this is a good way that to show that we are putting into practice the goals that you all as the board has developed through this CAP program dealing with career pathways. So we encourage parents to please come out and be with us. This flyer is on the webpage and all that they can refer to. So please take advantage of that. And then the last thing, I just want to say to all the board members that thank you all very much for a job well done. As you know, this month was a board appreciation week, and we want you to know that we appreciate you all. And we will do a formal recognition at the next board meeting in February. But I would be remiss if I let that pass without saying thank you guys for a job well done. We appreciate all the work that you do in making sure that we provide a quality education for all of our students. So congratulations, thank you very much. And then I do want to remind people that because we took a snow day, you need to mark your calendars that the last day would move from May the 26th to May the 30th. So the last day of school for this upcoming year would be May the 30th. So please make that notation. Okay, well, thank you very much, Mrs. Weitzman. That's all I have for right now.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Colbert. And as we move into the consent agenda, I would accept a motion to accept that consent agenda as presented, or if a board member wishes to remove an item for discussion, I would accept that motion as well.
I'll make the motion that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Okay. There's a motion from Katrina and a second from Keaton. And all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That motion carries 7-0. Okay, and then we have one old business item, which will be presented by, I believe, Greg Menez and or Mickey McFetridge.
Yes, thank you, President Weitzman and members of the board. I'm revisiting this extension of substitute incentive pay item as something that we started last fall. At the end of October, we started offering through our substitute provider a incentive for substitutes to work 5 days a week. And it was an additional $50 being paid the following week if you worked 5 full days in the previous week. That was initially for the fall semester, but we would like to reinstitute that for the spring semester as well, going back to the beginning of this January. In looking at the benefits from last fall, this bonus or incentive was paid out to 58 different substitutes from the months of end of October through December. And it did cost the district about a little over $13,000 to do that. But we do feel that it was a great benefit for those substitutes willing to go out there and work every single day in our schools for us. So we wanted to provide that same incentive again this spring semester.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Menez. Are there any questions regarding this recommendation? If not, I will accept a motion to approve the extension of substitute incentive pay as presented.
So moved.
We have a motion from Tim and a second from Justin, I think. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Okay, thank you, Greg.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, and now we have Mary Claire Hyatt. We have had a patron request an appeal regarding a library committee decision.
Yes, thank you. Ms. Weitzman, members of the board. This request was submitted pursuant to the board policy, the administrative regulation 6.20, which govern the process to request reconsideration of a work available in one of the libraries of our schools. So a patron requested review of a book called And Tango Makes Three, available at Root Elementary School in the library. The book's written by Justin Richardson and Peter Parnell. Pursuant to the policy, the principal formed a reconsideration committee. The committee met, reviewed the book, reviewed all of the materials that are listed in their report, which you are provided a copy of, and unanimously recommended retention of the material. Following notification, the patron timely submitted a request for appeal. So that's what's before you today. So pursuant to the policy, the issue before the board today is whether to deny the request for appeal or to accept the request for appeal. Should the board deny the request for appeal, the reconsideration committee's recommendation of retention will immediately be put into effect. Should the board accept the request for appeal, the next order of business would be for the board to outline how they would like that appeal process to look. The policy gives broad flexibility to the board in terms of what an appeal looks like. I think to account for, you know, you might have a 400-page book being challenged versus a 10-page book being challenged. So you have a lot of flexibility. If we get to that point, I'll be happy to discuss options with the board on how to move forward with the appeal. The appeal hearing would not happen today. That would likely be at your next board meeting or at another date determined by the board. So again, the issue before you today is to deny the request for appeal or to accept the request for appeal and then move on to decide how that appeal will look. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, Mary Claire. Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Hyatt? This is an action item this evening, even though it is a new business item. We do need to make a decision with regard to whether or not to grant this request. So if there are no questions, I'll accept either an motion to deny the request for the hearing or to accept the request for the appeal.
Yeah, I move that the board deny the request for appeal.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any more discussion or any more questions for Ms. Hyatt? No? Okay, then we have a motion from Tim and a second from Katrina. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Okay, thank you. And finally, we have the fiscal year 24-25 proposed budget of expenditures. I believe that's Mr. McPetridge. I forgot to write that down earlier.
Yes, ma'am, that is correct. So tonight I present the proposed budget of expenditures for July 1, 2024 to June 30, 2025. This is just each year since the board asked for the citizens of Fayetteville to continue our millage rate. This is a piece that we do, asking that you look at it today. You will vote on it in the February meeting, and then we'll have it published for the public 60 days before our May election cycle. So if there's any questions, I can answer those now, or we can answer them during the next meeting, but just wanted to present this to you all tonight.
Thank you, Mickey. Does anyone have questions? No? Okay, well, this is easy, not a lot of questions. We all got worn out with our questions in the workshop prior, I think. So thank you for putting that together for us and presenting that. Dr. Colbert, do you have anything else this evening?
I was trying to get that final word on
the schools.
Yes, right. Unfortunately, I don't have a decision yet.
Okay. That's okay.
We'll
Should we stall? No.
We'll try to let people know. Yeah, let Tim do a song for us. He can sing and tap.
Okay, Tim. Turn it over to Mr. Hudson now.
Yeah, the signal, internet signal here is unstable, just like me. So
Well,
yeah, I can't carry it. Sorry.
Okay, we'll just get back to you all there, Mrs. White.
Okay.
Tim,
Dr. Colbert, I do appreciate, as you said, I mean, we appreciate everyone's indulgence and patience. I also know that a whole bunch of work happens by our facilities and maintenance folks when we have to clear walks and make it safe for people. And so I just appreciate everything that's done to try to get buildings open and safe on time.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and I don't know who the maintenance people and food and nutrition had to move food around into safely refrigerated areas yesterday, which was a big undertaking on a snow day while the rest of us were hunkered down at home. So we appreciate that crew very much. So,
yeah, I asked if they could just do what we do when we lose power and put it outside in the snow. And apparently that's like not FDA approved. Who knew? So they had to like go above and beyond. So yeah, I way to go.
Yeah.
Food and nutrition and maintenance. Great work.
We'll definitely let them know that. Thank you.
Okay. If there's nothing else, then this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all. Stay warm.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.